2018 in India has been the year of the internet and the e-commerce. It's the first year where there's an absolute buzz about e-commerce, about internet ventures, valuations. Today, I can say this, Flipkart is worth more than Tata Steel kind of thing. It's that kind of valuation people are talking about. Right? And so, so for me, it's like I'm living the second time the internet thing that I saw in 1999 in America. So it's really very exciting to see that. Of course, from the customer's perspective, why would I want e-commerce? Very clear, convenience. I sit in my pajamas in a shop. Going out on the streets of Bangalore or Bombay to shop is not easy. I get a much bigger selection. A little analysis done by my boy shows me that, for example, if you look at mobile, you look at what a big store of Chroma is offering that we have versus what is available online. The number of brands are 10 times on online, and the number of SKUs the number of brands are 3 times, and the number of SKUs are 10 times. So we would have about 70 SKUs, they would have 700. We would have about 5 brands, they would have 15 brands. So that's the kind of selection you get there. So of course for the customer, it's selection, it's the convenience, you get it delivered at home, and then it's cheaper too. Right? When we do the price benchmarking, they are cheaper. So then it becomes like, what do you give up as a customer? Well, you give up the touch, feel, see of the item, clear, and you give up the immediate delivery, which is that, when you go to a store, you take the product home with you. Instead, you have to wait for the product to be delivered. Maybe they can do it in 1 day, but you still have to wait that 1 day. If you need it tonight, it's not there. Though they're trying to get it out. The interesting thing is now, when there is a buzz going on, you have all kinds of projections being made. I even saw a projection that said that in 10 years, 1/3 of Indian retail will be online. I'm not sure I buy that completely as yet, but the fact of the matter is the growth is going to be incredible. And the way I discovered this growth is going to be incredible because, of course, I get all the reports that the various retail consulting firms do, is my mother, who's 76, 77 years old. I gave her an iPad. She told me I don't need it. I said, no, you take it, see if you need it. And after 6 months, I saw she's on the iPad the whole time. Then I was in Diwali, I went to visit her, and she said, I bought saris for all the workers and their wives. I said, but you don't go out of the house, how did you buy the sari? She said, I went on Flipkart and there was 3,000 rupees each, and I ordered the saris and they delivered it and came into the cash. Now when a 76-year-old person who's actually a technologically phobic can do this, then what you realize very quickly is that we don't know, because we don't know how big this can be. So it's going to be very big, no doubt about that. Now, and also the change is taking place, like 4 years ago, 40% of the online in India was on PC, was on mobile. Today 60% is on mobile. So the mobile is a very unique aspect of the Indian, what you call online retail. So it's very heavily mobile. Secondly, metros versus non-metros. You would think it's mostly a metro phenomenon. It turns out that now 60% of the sales are coming from the non-metros, because that's where the stores are not there. That's where people can't access, right? So they are going there. So again we are seeing some. But of course, what we will come to later is that delivery in non-metros is much more difficult for us, and the profitability over there will actually decline even worse than in the metros because of the logistics challenge. And there's 2 kinds of players right now in the online market. The first kind of players are the brick and mortar companies, like the Chromas, the Tanish, the Bata of India. They want to high design, they want to sell online. Why? Because they are worried about the threat of online. They're seeing their sales go down, and also it's a consumer convenience that consumers are demanding, that if you sell, why can't I buy from you online? So, and in countries like UK, for example, where I lived in UK, Tesco, 25% of the sales now come from online. So clearly there's a demand for it, and it compensates for the decline in sales they're seeing. So abroad, it's not true yet in India, by the way, but abroad we're seeing a decline in sales in the brick and mortar stores. So then the profitability of the stores starts shrinking. As that starts shrinking, the only way you can make it up as a company is you start getting online. So, but unfortunately, the Indian retailers who have gone online, including us, I would say, I don't know if you've put in our best effort. It's really not where perhaps the passion lies, because we still love our stores. And so, yeah, it's there, it's one part, and we are very concerned with profitability, the brick and mortar players. So if they go online, they want to make sure they make money. So that's the brick and mortar. And then there are the pure play. The pure play retailers approach it in a totally different way. They approach it as build scale, it's a valuation game, and profit, as Jeff Bezos said, is an irrelevant indicator of business. Right? Now, so that's where they're playing the valuation game, right? It's I say it when I want to be mischievous and when I want to be more provocative, I say Amazon is the best Ponzi scheme. You buy from the first, you take money from the initial investors, you return them from the later investors, and you keep doing that. And of course, profits are yet to be inside. But they told me you wait long enough, it will come. I waited 20 years. I don't know how many more years I have to wait. My time horizon is still to be a bit shorter than that, even though I believe in long-term value creation.